I'm Stephen, and welcome back to the channel. You're in for a real treat today, well, more like a nightmare. This isn't just any story, this is one from one of our own members, and let me tell you, after hearing it, you'll start second-guessing every creak in your house. Grab a blanket, maybe even lock your doors, because what you're about to hear might just keep you up tonight. David thought he was just moving into a typical suburban home, quiet, peaceful, the kind of place where you could finally relax. But the first night he spent there, something didn't feel right. The house was old, sure, but it was more than that. It had this energy, like something was watching him, even when he was alone. He brushed it off. It was late, he'd had a long drive, and honestly, he just wanted to sleep. But then, around midnight, as he was getting comfortable in bed, he heard it. It wasn't loud at first, just a subtle noise, like something tapping against the wall. But it kept going. As if something, or someone, was walking around upstairs. David froze, listening intently. He was alone, he knew that for sure. The house was supposed to be empty. Curiosity nagged at him. He got up, grabbed his flashlight, and slowly climbed up the narrow stairs to the attic. Each step creaked under his weight like the house itself was protesting. When he reached the top, the attic door was slightly ajar. He pushed it open, half expecting to find nothing but dust and old furniture. But what he saw made his blood run cold. In the far corner of the attic, someone was standing. At first, David thought it was just an old coat or a mannequin, but then, it moved. The figure's head jerked in his direction, and that's when he saw it. Its eyes were empty, nothing but black voids, like pits leading straight into oblivion. His breath caught in his throat. The figure didn't speak. It didn't need to. Instead, David could hear a voice in his head, a whisper so soft, he thought it was just his imagination. But then, the whisper grew louder, clearer.
Leave, while you still can.
His heart raced, but his feet felt frozen. He couldn't move. The air in the attic grew thick, cold, unnaturally so. He looked around, his flashlight trembling in his hand. The figure took a step closer, and with each movement, the darkness around it seemed to stretch and deepen. You don't belong here. The voice whispered again, this time in a hiss. David spun around to run, but as soon as he reached for the attic door, it slammed shut with a deafening bang. He stumbled backward, spinning to face the figure once more. Now it was inches away, its skin an almost translucent shade of pale, stretched too tight over its bones. Its mouth opened wide in an unnatural grin, teeth that were too sharp, too jagged. David wanted to scream, to fight back, but the words wouldn't come. He could only watch as the figure's hand reached out, long fingers curling toward him. Just before its fingers touched his skin, everything went black. When David woke up, he was back in the attic. His head throbbed, his neck was stiff, and the figure was gone, no trace of it, not even a footprint. The door to the attic was wide open. He stumbled down the stairs, but when he passed by the hallway mirror, something caught his eye. There, on the back of his neck, was a handprint. Faint, but unmistakable. David packed up and left that morning without saying a word to anyone. He didn't need to. He knew better than to stick around and figure out what was really haunting that place. To this day, he never talks about what happened, but every now and then, when he's alone in the dark, he swears he can still hear it. The faint thump, 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 echoing from somewhere deep within the house, like something, or someone, is still waiting for him.